What's up, you guys? What's up? Welcome everybody to my live stream. My name is Nicole. I gotta get this tripod set up. Hold on just a second, because I want it to kind of be a little bit higher. Oop. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's see how that is. All right. Okay. Am I happy with this? Hey guys, what's up? Hey Jax. Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is we are going to learn about how addiction affects the brain, but we're also going to do makeup too. So let's go grab all the makeup that we need to beat this face to the motherfucking gods. Okay. All right. Let me see where I'm going to put you guys. Hey everybody. I think that'll be too high, so maybe I didn't need to do it this high. Sorry. I'm a hot mess express as usual. Nothing's changed here. It's all the same. Okie dokie. Let's go down just a little bit like that. Okay. Okay. All right. So, as y'all know, I have been banned on this account for fucking what seems like forever, dude. 30 days, okay? It was 30 days. And I couldn't go live. I couldn't post reels. I couldn't do anything on here, okay? So what we're going to do because of that is, and I don't usually ask you guys to do, like, do this a bunch, but I need you to go follow me, okay, on my page, just in case we lose this one, okay? My page is linked in the description. It's Discovering Nicole Pludre, okay? Hey Tracy, hey Angel, hey Eileen, hey Jax. What's up everybody? Come on in. Come hang out with me, okay? Come hang out with me. Let me pull my hair up because I don't know what it is about my body when I'm doing my makeup, but I will sweat like a hoe in church, and I just got out of the shower, you know? So let's get that hair up while we do the makeup. I have missed you guys so much. I really do get a lot out of going live and sharing with you guys. It helps me stay sober. So when I get unnecessarily banned for BS, it really fucks me up a little bit, man, because I really enjoy connecting with people, especially you guys, my friends, you know. Some people might think that's strange, right? But honey, it's just the way it is. That's just how I am. So we're going to get a blush out. Okay, so today I'm doing a purple eye look because I haven't got to do purple in a while. So I'm going to get my eyeshadows that are special, and we are going to get that's white, some eyeliner pencils. So I had like a kind of I wouldn't say a breakdown, but I had like a aha moment when I've been reading this book, okay? So I've been reading this book about how addiction affects our brains, okay? How addiction affects our brain, and I have always really struggled with the shame and guilt that I carry from using substances when I was pregnant with my son, okay? I have just like, I carry that guilt, and it's just something I really struggle with. And I have not forgiven myself. It doesn't matter how many times people tell me to forgive myself. It doesn't matter how much I try to forgive myself. I just don't, okay? It just is what it is, and I feel horrible. So the other day, I started reading the book and started, you know, learning about reading it and learning, and I got to the chapter where it talks about how substance use affects our brain and the changes to the brain that happen. And I literally started crying, you guys, because it just was like so much it explained so much of what was going on when I was in active addiction, why I was doing the things that I was doing. Like I said, I'm not making excuses. I take full responsibility for the bad choices that I made in active addiction, but this just helped me to understand my disease a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So I want to share that information with you guys because I think that it'll help you guys too. Because I know if I feel shitty about the shit that I did in active addiction, then I know you guys probably feel the same way too. So we're going to talk about it. So let me get this makeup all settled up and get this palette. Ooh, yeah. You're okay. That palette. Okay, and put this on my bed because I'm going to sit on my bed and do it while I talk to you guys. And then we'll get started. Okie dokie, okie dokie. Alrighty, let's get some moisturizer. Okay, let's do this. So, yeah, I'll show you that. I'll show you all the book in just a second. Let me get myself situated. Okie dokie. So, that's a little high, Nicole. But, see, like I'm already sweating. Okay, so the book is called Understanding and Helping an Addict and While Keeping Your Sanity. It's by a doctor who is also an addict in recovery. I'll show you guys. Understanding and Helping an Addict. Okay, I ordered this book from Amazon. Okay, I'll need that. So, gosh, I don't know why I'm sweating like I'm sweating. Hey, Cece. Hey, Kayla. Hey, Rhonda. What's up? Okay, so let me get situated. Let me open my book into the right page that I want to share with you guys. And then we'll get into it. Hold on just a second, you guys. Hello. Okay. Let me see here. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Cece. What's up, Cece? Hey, Cece, how are you doing, girl? Did you figure out your medication situation? 97. Damn, man. This dude keeps calling and calling. Okay. There we go. Okay. It's in the chapter called The Addicted Brain. Okay? Okay. So, let's get our moisturizer on. And then we can start talking. So if you guys have any questions, just put them in the chat. I see Kayla has one that says, how do I go about helping other addicts? Well, first of all, Kayla, are you in a good place to be helping people? Are you staying sober and doing the right thing or on all that good stuff? If you're in a good place and you feel like you're ready to start helping people, what I did was I had a lady that I was working with, like as a sponsor, mentor kind of thing. And I asked her, I said, can I start helping people? Like, do you think I'm ready? I kind of asked for some guidance, you know what I'm saying? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And so I began doing just really simple things like sharing my story. Okay? Like sharing my story was my first big step into like doing service work. All right. So I went and shared my story at the treatment center that I had graduated from. And I remember the day that I did that, it felt so good. Right. But that was just the beginning. Then I started like volunteering, to do hospitals and institutions with AA and NA, which is like going to the jail, the prison, and bringing, you know, the message of recovery there. And that was all fun. And I sponsored a couple of people through the steps. But then I ended up getting out of 12-step program and I started going to MERA, which is Medication Assisted Recovery Anonymous. It's more, you know, geared toward people who are utilizing medication-assisted treatment, medical marijuana, different medication, you know, to help them in their recovery. And so I started doing that, and that's when I was like, okay, I really like helping people. So I started my YouTube channel. That was like a couple of years after I started my YouTube channel. And that kind of put me in a pathway to be, people were reaching out to me, right? People were reaching out to me for help. So when they would reach out to me for help, what I would do was I would ask them, you know, what they were struggling with. And then I would make sure that I gave them options. I would not push just the 12-step program. I would not push just rehab. I would not push only Dr. B's treatment center. I would not push one way. I would give them all the options that I knew that were available, all the resources I could, to allow them to choose what path they wanted to take, right? And then I would just help them get into that path, okay? Whether it be going to treatment, finding somebody to sponsor them and work with them, getting into therapy. I've helped people find doctors to help them taper. I mean, I've helped people find methadone clinics to join. I've helped people get signed up for online recovery resources and treatment programs, like anything, basically. And so basically all you got to do is have the desire to want to help people, and then put yourself out there and do it. Do it. Just remember that, like, just remember that what works for you might not work for somebody else, you know, and providing people with an assortment of different resources is the best thing you can do, so that way they can pick the best treatment option for themselves. You know what I think the best idea to do is to go and get yourself assessed with a doctor or a psychiatrist to find out, you know, what best treatment would work for you. I know exactly what you're saying. I've been dealing with it since I'm around 20 when I started using. I'm almost 52. I love your videos. I've been on Suboxone since 2012 and I'm doing great. Hey, Angel, thank you. I'm so proud of you. I'm glad you're here. I can last about 3 to 4 days before I start getting really sick and struggling with the racing mind and stuff. So I'm hoping I can figure something out in the meantime. Yeah, so a sponsor is strictly somebody that takes a person through the 12 steps. So a sponsor is connected to the 12-step fellowship. And what a sponsor does is they take their sponsee through the 12 steps. That is their job or position, right? They're not supposed to counsel you. They're not supposed to be your bank account. They're not supposed to be your, you know, best friend. They're simply there to take you through the 12-step program, so that way you can get through the 12-step program and then you can carry the message to other people. That's the goal. Hey, Angel. Hey, Antonia. Hey, Braxton. What's up? And so if you don't do the 12 steps, that's okay. You can work with somebody as an accountability partner. You can hire a recovery coach. You can go to therapy. You can, there's all kinds of different things that you can do that are not a 12-step program to get sober. And so don't feel like, you know, that's just the only way, because that's how I felt for a really long time. And I struggled because I was trying to fit in this box that just wasn't the right fit for me. You know what I'm saying? Which was the 12-step box. But if that works for you, like, I 100% support you, and I will be there to cheer you on. I needed a little bit more help than what the 12 steps could provide me. Do you know what I'm saying? I actually just got done doing a video about this over on my TikTok, because this guy commented and made a video saying that people who don't work the 12 steps, or who have tried to and who say it don't work, are people who just didn't work, who just didn't try hard enough. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Do you know how many times I tried and I didn't maintain? It was pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? So, back to the subject at hand. Sorry about that. Anybody can help anybody, though. All of you guys can help other people. You don't have to, you know, wait on anybody to give you permission. You can help people by just providing resources online every day. A great thing that you can do if you're like in a recovery group or you post stuff on Facebook like I do is to make videos and posts with helpful information of detox centers that have beds open, with helpful information of where meetings and things like that are located, right? Where online resources are. Like, those are all ways that you can help people that are struggling. Do you know what I'm saying? So, if you do decide to help people, though, please make sure that you're doing it for the right reason. I'm going to tell you guys something that's happening over on TikTok, and it pisses me off. It makes me so mad. So, I was scrolling through TikTok the other day, right? And I saw this video of this guy basically calling out this other guy, saying that he's given him so much time to show the receipts or something like that. And I'm like, receipts from what, right? And so I went on a deep dive. Well, there's this guy on TikTok who has a nonprofit called The Good Project. And supposedly, allegedly, this guy that owns this nonprofit, The Good Project, has been collecting donations. And when I tell you guys, I'm not talking about $50. I'm talking about tens and thousands of dollars. Okay? This dude is getting a lot of money. Okay? So, collecting a lot of money in the name of helping people go to rehab. So, he's taking like tens and thousands of dollar donations and sending people to treatment. Well, what came out in the wash with one of the guys that he took donations for and sent to treatment, this guy decided to make a video and say, hey, he sent me to treatment at a free rehab. What happened to the $10,000 that he raised for me? What happened to the money that y'all sent to help me? So now there's an investigation, you know, going to go into those people, because basically what they're doing is they're scamming people. They're giving their audience the idea that they're using this money that their audience is donating on TikTok to help people, right? But they're actually pocketing the money, allegedly. Okay, I have to say allegedly because I don't know for sure. That's really fucked up. So if you're somebody who wants to help other people, make sure that if you're going to help other people, that you're doing it because you care about people and because you really want to help people, not because you think you're going to get rich fast. Because I'm going to tell you something right now. If you think that you're going to get rich off helping people get sober, you're got another thing coming. You're going to lose money, okay? You're going to be losing money for sure. People will be in your DMs every day asking you for donations, asking you for money. I'm telling y'all right now. So it's not a get rich quick scheme. And you got to really have your heart in the right place because it's challenging, okay? Helping other people, you got to realize that, you know, people that have addiction, they're struggling, you know, they're sick. You messed up. What do you mean? They're sick, right? And so I get accused of being a bitch. I get cussed out in my DMs if I don't answer them fast enough. Just believe me. I had one girl message me a couple of weeks ago and tell me that all I cared about was money and that I was a piece of shit because I could only give her a 50% discount to get her Suboxone. So I'm telling you guys, it can be very challenging. But anyways, be prepared. That's all. So you messed up as in like you relapsed, Angela? Or Angel? Sorry. And if you did, like listen to me, you guys. If y'all don't mind, will y'all share this video? Share the video and like the video and invite your friends. Share the video, like the video, invite your friends, okay? You relapsed? Oh, okay. So did you relapse or did you lapse? Did you know there's a difference? Did you relapse or did you lapse? And do you know the difference between a relapse and a lapse? Let me know, you guys. Comment and let me know if you know the difference. And we'll read about that right now since you're talking about it. So, relapse happens to a lot of people, okay, honey? Relapse was a part of my story, so I'm not, don't be ashamed, okay? It happens. It happens. Now, do I want you to relapse? No, right? But if you do, okay, if you do, there are things that you can do to get back on track so that way you don't stay out in your active addiction, okay? Okay, let's find this damn, okay, so a lapse is when you pick up a drink or a drug and you immediately feel guilt, shame, remorse, and you put the drug down and you say, oh God, I made a bad mistake. And you walk away and you get back on track, okay? That's what a lapse is. A relapse is when you return back to using drugs and pick up, the back where you left off and continue using drugs and staying out there. Oh, here it is. A lapse is the return to substance use is brief and not at the previous levels. This is usually in the context of the addict drinking or using again and instantly regretting the decision and returning to recovery. And a relapse is a reactivation of the addiction, a return to previous levels of use and behaviors. Okay? It's scary where my mind went because I have fought so hard to get this time. Like you said, I'm playing the tape all the way through, but it's still scary. Exactly. And so I know it sucks. And me and my husband have been in the situation where our insurance stopped working, or we lost our insurance, or we changed insurance providers, right? And we could not get our Suboxone refilled, okay? And so what both of us did, was we just cut our Suboxones into tiny, tiny pieces and really, really drug it out. As long as you have a little piece to take, you're going to be just fine, okay? So just try to do that and just stay on the horn with the Medicaid, okay? Are you calling them like every day? Do you need your doctor to call and let them know that this is a medical emergency and that they really need to approve your medication? Okay, so let me read this to you guys, okay? I've heard a lot of addicts refer to a lapse as a slip. I generally don't use the terms lapse or slip for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't like minimizing the impact of a return to substance use on any scale. The risk of overdose death is very high during relapse, and death often occurs during a lapse. This is primarily because addicts in recovery commonly return to the same high doses that they were using during their addiction, and their tolerance may be lower so that their previous dosing levels may now be fatal for them. As well, even a single use of drugs is dangerous because nowadays addicts have no way of knowing exactly what's in drugs they buy. The fiendish presence of the ultra-high potency opioids such as fentanyl, that now adulterate drugs, has become the norm. The other reason why this man, he doesn't use the word slip or lapse, is because regardless of how long the return to substance use lasted, there was still a mental process to get there, and obviously something is going wrong in the individual's recovery. So what I believe in, I use the word slip or lapse. What I believe is that if you pick up, you need to reevaluate what you're doing to stay sober, okay? And you need to look at what happened. Why were you picking up? What was going on before you made the decision to go out and use, right? Were you depressed? Did you and your husband have a fight? Are your kids stressing you out? Have you been missing fellowship and going to recovery support groups, right? So like, I consider these live streams like recovery support groups, okay? Like, this is my recovery support group. This helps me stay sober, you know? Is it bad that I'm still on hydrocodone even if I take it as prescribed? No, it's not bad. I've been clean off street drugs for 13 years. That's great, Michelle. So one thing that I say is we need to normalize taking medication in recovery. Some people have to take medication. Some people have chronic pain. Some people have debilitating anxiety. Some people have fucking diabetes or whatever medication it is. There's no, like, here's the thing, and this is so funny because this is how a lot of people are. You don't get to pick and choose like what substance is okay to take and what substance is not. If you're prescribed a medication and you're taking that medication as prescribed by your physician, you're 100% sober. You are not getting high. You are not abusing the substance. You are not selling it for other substances. You are taking your medication as directed by your physician. And so don't let anyone tell you any different. Now, if you were taking your hydrocodone and taking 7 at one time and falling asleep during our meetings and itching your nose and smoking 20,000 cigarettes, now that's another story, right? But if you take your medicine as prescribed and you need it for your back pain, honey, that's what you got to do. You can't, what are you supposed to do? Have a horrible quality of life because you're in pain all the time, just because you're an addict? You know, just because you are a drug addict doesn't mean that you don't deserve to have adequate pain management. So yeah, don't let anybody tell you different either. If they do, you can come over here and get me. It just freaks me out where my mind immediately went when I realized what was happening. So anybody that was wondering, Cece is trying to get her Suboxone refilled, and her Medicaid provider is not wanting to fill it. So she's having to ration her medication until she can get her insurance company to quit fucking with her. So she's been kind of going through it lately. And like I told you, you have worked so hard to get to where you're at. Like, you have done so much. You don't want to throw it all away for some bullshit, you know? Hold on, you guys. I gotta lower this a little bit. This person keeps calling my phone, and I literally, like, am not answering it because I'm on live with you guys. But it's like, I can't believe people actually do that. Like, they just keep... And this is a call that's not like an addiction call. This is on another phone line for the other business I work for. But it's like, man, come on. I literally, I can't answer the phone right now. I'm doing something. I'm busy. Please stop. Drives me insane. Now, if it was an addiction call, I would just answer it because I'm here with you guys, you know? But anyway. Hey, Pixie, we're live, girl. We're live. So I have been banned for 30 days, you guys. And that's why I'm so excited to be here with y'all, because I freaking missed you guys. I freaking missed y'all. Y'all are my friends. I know you'll probably think I'm a nerd or whatever, but it's the truth. Y'all are my friends, and you guys help me stay sober. And I really get a lot out of these things. You know, I really do like coming on here and connecting with you guys and just being a part of the group, you know? So, sorry. If you guys have anything you guys want to talk about, put it in the comment section. If you have a question, ask it. If you are struggling with something and you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Okay? Like, I'm all about that shit. Okay. Yeah, this is our support group, okay? Okay, so now that we know what a lapse and a relapse is, just because we have a lapse or a relapse doesn't make us less of a person. It doesn't make us a bad person, right? It just means that we have some work to do, okay? And so if you are somebody who has recently relapsed and you're just beating yourself over the head because you used, you need to step back, okay? Take a deep breath and realize that, hey, you're alive, okay? You made it out of that relapse, which is a really big deal, okay? If you hadn't made it out of the relapse, it would be a different story. Hold on just a second. Hello, I'm on a live stream right now on my computer, so I can't answer the phone. I'm not trying to be rude, but please leave a message. Thank you. The tape that went through my head was, I know I can find it easier or find a cheaper option on the street, but going through the tape, I know exactly what will happen. Exactly. And so, like, our minds, you guys, our minds are so powerful, and our minds will try to tell us that this time it will be different. Oh, I can use one more time. It's not going to affect me. I can control it. Do you know that that is literally the obsession of every addict and alcoholic? And we will actually, like, try to control our drinking and using until we damn near kill ourselves, okay? And so that's why it's so important for us to face reality and realize that, like, using substances isn't good for us, right? It's not healthy for us. It's not what we were created to do. And so letting go of that is really important. It was for me, at least. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it was for you guys too. Okay. You don't think I was rude, do you? I just said I'm doing something. Can you please leave a message? Yeah. So I believe that what I believe happens has been happening for years is that, so there's like this kind of like unspoken shame that I feel like people feel because I feel like we've kind of been programmed to think that, like, we're failing if we have a relapse, right? And it's not that you're failing, right? It's just that you're learning as you go, right? It's an experience. And so if you're somebody who relapsed, okay, instead of looking at it like, oh my gosh, I'm failing at my recovery. Look at it as a learning experience, a bump in the road, right? That you obviously had to go through to get to where you're going, okay? And so in order to be the best version of yourself and to grow in your recovery, you have to learn, you know, what does and does not work for you. And that happens through trial and error for a lot of us. And so maybe, you know, you were working at a new job in your recovery and you didn't realize that a lot of the people at this job were using substances. And so you tried to work there, you tried to make it through, but, you know, you ended up picking up because everybody else was getting high at your job. And so what I would do if that happened to me is I would sober up, obviously, and then I would start reflecting on where I made the mistake, what was going on, and I would say, you know, it's probably not a good idea for me to work at this job. Then I would take it even farther than that, and I would look at what was going on, you know, 30 days before I relapsed. Have I been in a good headspace? Have I been taking care of myself? Have I been taking care of my mental health? Have I been practicing my self-care? And that kind of thing, you know, to make sure that I am, you know, addressing all the issues and getting everything straightened out so that way I don't make the same mistake again. Because it's okay to make a mistake, but as long as you learn from it, right? So take that mistake, learn from it, and keep it moving. Keep it moving, right? Beating yourself up is not going to do anything. It's not conducive, right? It's only going to hold you back. So pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and let's keep it rolling, right? Right. And believe me, y'all, I beat myself up so bad for a relapse that I had in 2010 that I didn't come back into recovery until 2015. Okay, I went back out and I didn't come back because I was so ashamed and so disappointed in myself. Do you understand? And so I don't want you guys to make those same mistakes that I did and be ashamed and stay out there because of that, okay? Every single person has relapsed. I mean, there's some people who have gotten sober the first time, but most people have relapsed. And so there's nothing to be ashamed of, okay? Okay. Does that look okay, you guys? There's just one part on my cheek. You see that right there? Where the makeup will just not stick. I don't know what it is, but it does that every time. Okay, I think that looks even, don't you? What is... The other piece I've been struggling with is that I really am wanting to use THC to help me with some of my mental health, but those around me don't approve. It's just difficult. Well, what you need to do is you need to talk to your doctor. See if your doctor approves it and gets it prescribed to you, then go from there, you know? Angela, I understand. I really do. And I feel like, and this is, like I said, if you are in AA and NA, like, I respect you. I was in AA for many years. I feel like it's almost taught to us, though, to be ashamed. I feel like it's kind of like, that's how it's perpetuated in the 12-step program. I feel like if you're not at a meeting, you know, every day, or you miss one at your home group and then you go back after missing it, everybody's like whispering behind your back, did Nicole relapse? Did Nicole relapse? You know, and so, but screw that, you know what I'm saying? That's why I really like doing our little groups that we do, because I don't feel shame when I come around you guys and admit that I made a mistake. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't feel embarrassed, and I feel safe, you know? Oh, it's not legal there? Okay. Hey, Jamie, what's up, girl? How are you doing? You know, I did for many years. I did AA. And like I said, it worked for me for a long time. But what happened was, the longer I stayed sober, the more my beliefs began to change. Okay? So when I first got sober, I believed, you know, a lot of the things that they taught. But now, as I've stayed sober longer, I've branched out, and I really, you know, support harm reduction. I'm a medication-assisted treatment user. I am a person who supports and believes in higher power, and I'm not super religious. And I just feel like I'm a lot more open-minded now that I'm not in the program than I was when I was in the program. You know what I'm saying? You would have to have a medical card here in Arkansas. Hey, Melissa. Hey, Molly. It worked for me for a long time, but this time around, it's toxic. Yeah, that happened. That's what happened to me. It started not being conducive for my recovery. And you know what? I'll tell you this. Being on social media and like working with others and seeing how people treat other people that are on medication-assisted treatment, that are Cali sober, seeing people in the program and how they treat people who recover differently than them, totally turned me off and turned me away from the 12 steps. I thought, oh my gosh, like, this is the opposite of what the 12 steps teach. Like, we should be loving each other and supporting each other no matter what path to recovery we are on, right? Like, every single person is different. And so I feel like what happens after a while for those people in AA or NA is that they get in like a bubble, right? Where they think that, and it's because they are so grateful to that program. They feel like without that program, they wouldn't be there. They wouldn't be alive. They wouldn't be sober. They give a lot of credit to the program and they don't give themselves any credit for their recovery, you know? And I feel like because they're so passionate about it, that when people share about any other way, they're just super judgmental and condescending about it, you know? So, yeah, I would rather just not, you know, be a part of that. And I would rather just, you know, march to the beat of my own drum. My DOC was only THC and K2, but when I relapsed, it went all the way to meth. Oh yeah, I would never have thought it would have gotten that far. Now the shame is so embarrassing. Now I've been clean with THC from everything else since February of last year. That's great. Nate is at school and Neil's at work, but they're doing phenomenal. This life is about finding what makes you happy and doing that. That's it. Then spreading as much onto others that you can. Yeah, so that's what I'm all about. I'm all about connecting with people in recovery and helping people. I believe that when I was in active addiction, I was totally focused on how I could get my drug, when I was going to do my drug, and that consumed my life, okay? And so now that I'm sober, what I'm about now is connecting with human beings, talking with people, helping people, forming friendships and true connections, not just drug addiction friends who I got high with, right? Who used me, okay? Like, I want to have real friends, you know? And I spent so many years with people who were taking advantage of me and using me for money or my car, or the drugs that I had, or my body, you know what I'm saying? I had no true relationships, no true friendships. And now that I'm sober, like, I want to build connection with people. That's why, like, I literally, like, and I enjoy this so much, you guys. I love coming on here. My nose is itching because I got a hair on it or something. I love coming on here and talking with you guys. Like, it literally, I just love it so much. I love it. And so it helps me stay sober. Okay, yeah, message me later. All right, so let me get back to where I wanted to talk to you guys about how addiction affects the brain, because, oh gosh, I was crying earlier because it was so, it really helped me understand a lot, you know? Okay. So this chapter 7 is talking about the link between addiction and mental illness, okay? Okay, where did I want to go? Is that the chapter I wanted to do? No. Okay, here we go. Repeated use of addicted substances on the brain. That's what I want to talk about. Excuse me, y'all. Sorry about that. Okay, here we go. So when we use drugs and alcohol, it affects two different parts of our brain. Okay, the parts of the brain that it affects is the executive control system and the learning system, which are both in the prefrontal cortex of our brain. Okay. Addiction is primarily a disease of the brain, right? Thanks to significant innovations in our ability to study the brain, our understanding of the effects of addictive substances on the brain has advanced considerably over the past 2 decades. The brain changes seen in addiction are responsible for and correlate with most of the behavioral symptoms that we discussed in the previous chapter. The rest of the symptoms result from the psychological effects of substance use, in other words, from the addicted mind. We'll discuss the effects of addiction on the mind, as well as what exactly the difference is between the brain and the mind in the next chapter. Addiction exists simply because addictive substances have a remarkable ability to activate and adulterate key brain structures in a way that propagates substance use and promotes relapse and recovery. Addiction results primarily from the effects of psychoactive substances on two important brain systems, the executive control system and the learning system, okay? Okay, go to therapy. Hey, Lindsay. Hey, Dawson. So the executive control system is the part of the brain that allows us to engage in a higher level of thinking, such as reasoning and planning and decision making. So right there, when we use substances, it affects our ability to make decisions, okay? That's like, okay, that's a huge, whether we're going to go, whether we're going to use drugs or not, whether we're going to go to the grocery store, whether we're going to take a shower, whether we're going to eat that day, sleep that day, call our boyfriend that day, all kinds of stuff, right? It protects us from harm by giving us judgment and self-control. And do you hear that? So it affects the part of our brain that gives us self-control. Okay, so that means we're losing control when we put substances into our body, okay? And helps us to achieve our short and long-term goals by coordinating our behaviors so that they are goal-directive. The executive control system is the part of the brain that decides what we do, how we do it, and when. Therefore, it may be thought of as the CEO of the brain. The learning system is the system that enables us to adapt to our environment and meet our goals by learning new information and behaviors. This important brain system also helps us to learn from our mistakes and our successes so that our future actions are improved by lessons learned. Okay, so if it affects the part of our brain that literally helps us learn from experiences, think about that. If we're taking drugs, we do it over and over and over again. We do the same. We get put in jail. We come out, we get high, we get put in jail. It affects that part of our brain where normally we would learn from that experience. We would learn from stealing, getting arrested, and going to jail. Okay, we would say, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to go back to jail, right? But when we are putting drugs and alcohol into our body, it affects the part of our brain where we're able to do that. This important brain system also helps us to learn from our mistakes and so much of the learning that occurs in our brain involves a reward system that releases feel-good chemicals into the brain that give us a bit of a high when we accomplish something good. We learn to repeat behaviors that earn us a reward, and we avoid behaviors that don't result in a reward. As such, much of our learning is reward-based learning. That is known as conditioning. The learning system is also involved in memory and motivation. So, you know how you guys tell me, like, Nicole, since I've gotten sober, I'm struggling with lack of motivation. All of this is a direct result of your substance use, okay? Like, that's why. And when I was reading this, I was crying almost reading it earlier because it was just like making so much sense to me and helping me realize, like, wow, okay, like this explains a lot to me of the things that I did, right? Because I'm not a stupid person, and neither are any of you guys, you know? Once the brain has undergone the physical changes that create addiction, the effects of addictive substances on the brain occur independent of intoxication, so that they disrupt behavior even when the individual is sober. Unfortunately, many of the changes to the brain in addiction are long-lasting and time-stable. This means that although people in recovery can return to normal function and behavior, the addicted brain can be reactivated by re-exposure to addictive substances, years, even decades after the last drink or drug. When an addict is in recovery, even a single exposure to drugs or alcohol can reactivate these enduring brain changes, resulting in a rapid resumption of the same behaviors and dysfunction that occurred in the original bout with addiction. In my work with addicts, I have seen innumerable cases of people with many years of sobriety relapsing right back to where they were with even one drink or drug. This is why relapse prevention is such a critical part of addiction and treatment recovery. Okay, Jamie, see you later. I'm sorry. If you guys think this is boring, let me know. But it explains like so much of like, if you really think about it, because like for some reason I always have really been hard on myself about the mistakes I made in my active addiction, and I didn't really realize how substances affected my brain, you know, and what they were doing. I didn't realize that. Okay. Good. Okay, so our brains can heal though, and you can learn a new way to live and live sober. But so listen to this. Okay, the human brain is fascinating. It has justifiably been described as the most complex object in the universe. It's a collection of 87 billion nerve cells, known as neurons. These neurons work together in ways that we are only beginning to understand. This most formidable of machines, capable of the most wondrous of achievements, can be manipulated by addictive substances into shattering lives, and the mind becomes powerless to anything about it. Okay. The brain is not a Alright, it consists of a number of separate structures that all have different functions, okay? A piece of the brain size of a grain of sand contains 100,000 neurons and 1 billion interconnections. Even though the brain makes up 2% of our body weight, it uses up to 60% of our total energy and oxygen intake. It's composed of 73% water, yet it only takes 2% dehydration to disable function. So, the way that we can heal our brain right now in this live, by sitting here and like being willing to listen and learn about the disease of addiction and how it affects your brain. Right now, your brain is forming new neural pathways and it is healing, okay? Every time that you wake up and you choose to stay sober instead of getting high, your brain is healing. It's true, okay? Doesn't it, Jamie? I'm like, I was crying earlier, okay? The brain works by transmitting information between neurons, which is why there are so many interconnections. None of the brain cells actually touch. There's a tiny microscopic gap between them, and the brain cells communicate by releasing various chemicals across the gap to transmit messages between them. These message chemicals are known as neurotransmitters. Each of the many different neurotransmitters means different things to different brain cells at different times and in different amounts. Okay. It's like some of us are born with a good brain and others are born with a damaged brain. Yeah, so like, okay, some people have the disease. Like for instance, me and my sisters, I'm the oldest, okay? Story time. So I can do my makeup while I'm talking. So I'm the oldest of 3 girls, okay? I'm Nicole, then we have my sister Michelle, who's in the middle, and then my baby sister, Christine, okay? We were all very close in age, okay? I was born in 82. My sister Michelle was born in 83. And my sister Christine was born in 85, okay? So we are just like packed in there like little sardines. My parents were getting busy. And so we were like thick as thieves, me and my sisters growing up. Well, I remember probably around the time that my sister was 14 or 15, my middle sister, Michelle, she had started to struggle with her mental health. And at that time, we didn't know anything about mental health, okay, like we do now. Like my parents didn't talk about it. People weren't talking, like it wasn't like it is now. And I'll tell you guys this right now, you are so fortunate to live in this time that you live in, because there's so much acceptance around mental health. There's becoming such a large amount of acceptance around addiction and people trying to learn and understand it. And in the past, it just wasn't like that. Sure, there's a lot of stigma still with addiction, but it's like we're making progress. Same with mental illness, right? And so it wasn't talked about like it is now. Anyway, my sister ended up having bipolar disorder, okay? And bipolar disorder, some other, something defiant disorder, like she was really getting in trouble a lot at school, and she had started to use drugs, okay? And so she was 14, using drugs, running away from home, and I remember thinking, like, I was probably like 15 and a half, you know, and I just thought, oh my God, my baby sister is using drugs already. Well, my sister was using drugs because she was self-medicating her bipolar disorder that we didn't know that she had, okay? And that's how my sister started using substances, okay? And so once we got her on medication, that really helped her, and she sobered up. She sobered up, and she ended up getting pregnant at 16 years old. But she was struggling so much with her mental health, and she just didn't know how to cope with it, you know? And so she started using substances. Well, shortly after she started using, and then I followed suit, and I started getting high, right? Well, I started getting high, and I continued, and I didn't stop. And I started experimenting with a whole bunch of different drugs, stimulants, weed, alcohol, opiates, all the stuff. Well, then my baby sister, Christine, I'll never forget it. I smoked her out for the first time with marijuana, right? And we were smoking, and she got so high that she was scared to go home because she lived with my parents. Still, this is when I was a little bit older and I had moved out. And my baby sister was so scared, I had to feed her to help her get sobered up. Long story short, my sister didn't ever do drugs. She only smokes pot, and she does that just every now and then. She's a very successful musician. She literally plays music for a living. And she doesn't use drugs. So out of the three of us, two of us are drug addicts and one of us is not. How the hell did that happen? Like, how does that happen, right? So my sister Michelle and I both were born with the disease of addiction. Like, we had the vulnerability, right? Because at the time my sister was struggling with mental illness, and I was struggling with insecurity, growing up and being a teenager. I was in an abusive relationship. I also had mental health problems where I had an eating disorder, very severe eating disorder for many years, severe on the part where I starved myself. Then my eating disorder, when I got older, it flipped and it went from restriction to binging. Okay, so I used to like restrict. And then I went to just eating so much food that I couldn't stop. It's so fascinating to me. Yeah, it's crazy how one of us, two of us are addicted and one of us isn't. But like my sister Christine, she'll tell you, like, she watched me and my sister Michelle, use drugs and fuck up our life and all that shit. And she learned from our mistakes, and she knew that she didn't want to do that. She knew that she didn't want to make the same mistakes that we did. If she had used substances, though, my sister, if she had went out and got high on different drugs, my sister Christine would have been just like me and Michelle, because I believe that we all have like an issue around controlling, you know, our intake of food. So we all three have that issue. And so I feel like, you know, that is also like an addiction to drugs. Food addiction is so hard because you have to eat to live, you know? And so I was just thinking about this the other day. Like, can you imagine how much easier life would be for me, like, at least I know for me, if I didn't have to worry about like how much food I ate, because I love to eat. It's like a whole other addiction, you know? I have to be really careful when I eat and make sure that I don't like, I have to watch my portions or I will binge. If it's too good, if the food tastes too good, I have to walk away. I have to literally remove myself from the seat. My mom made lasagna for Christmas dinner, okay? And when I tell you guys, my mom's lasagna is fire, okay? When I tell you, oh, so good. She made a whole platter for me to take home, okay? Well, I couldn't control myself. I could not control myself. And I ate the whole platter this Christmas. And you guys know I've been on a weight loss journey, right? I went from about 245 to 200 pounds. And so, you know, I don't want to gain all my weight back, right? Well, over the Christmas holiday and part of January, I freaking gained back damn near 10 pounds. So I'm working my ass off now to get myself, you know, back on track with my eating. It's so hard. It's so hard. It's really tough. And I know that I just have to practice retraining my brain, doing my portion control, eating at certain times during the day and not in the evening time. But it's easier said than done, you know. I have to buy them from Amazon. What are they called? What are they called? I love chocolate. You know what my vice is, or my thing is? Chewy candy, like gummy bears and stuff. Oh, I love me some gummy bears. Okay, this color's pretty, huh? This purple. You'll see. It's going to be really good. Oh, you're not going to tell me? You're gatekeeping it. Hold on, I got to get my glitter glue, y'all. You are gatekeeping the damn food. Yeah, ho? Okay, so I have these really beautiful special eyeshadows I'm going to show y'all. I am so glad that I can go live on this account now. I'm still going to go live on my other account, I think, from now on. But I'm just glad to have this account back. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to take this glitter glue and put it on the back of my hand. And then we're going to put it on my eyeball. So that way my glitter will stick. Do you know how bad listen to me, okay? When I started losing weight, you guys, I damn near cried my eyes out. Because I don't think you guys understand how long that I've been trying to, you know, get myself together to lose weight, okay? And so, like, I have tried so many times and failed at losing weight. And so, you know, it took me like 8 months to lose like 45 pounds, you know, and I did it real slow. And I didn't say anything about it. I didn't tell anybody that I was really trying because I have done that so many times and failed, you know? And so I went, this past holiday when I went to my parents' house, you guys, it was so good. I felt so good. I walked in and my dad was like, "You've lost weight." And it made me feel so good, you know, that he noticed that I lost weight. And I was like, "Yeah, Dad, like I have lost weight. Thank you for noticing, you know?" And he was like, "Yeah, I could tell, you know, I can really tell." I almost cried my eyes out, you know? Okay, now let's get these special eyeshadows, my ladies, my friends. These eyeshadows are from Clionadh Cosmetics, and they are multi-chrome eyeshadows, okay? And they're just gorgeous, you guys, just gorgeous. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull some different purples, okay? And I am going to kind of swatch them, see which one I want to do. Now, I know I like this purple right here. Like, I want to do this one down. Let me see. I'm just going to go for it. Let's see what happens. I can always cover it up with more glitter. I had failed so many times at losing weight that I was embarrassed, really, to even tell anybody that I was trying again, because I had just been failing so much, you know? And it gets so discouraging, especially being on social media all the time, you guys, and like seeing other women's bodies and then feeling like, you know, your body isn't adequate. Let me get a different brush, you know, and I felt very less than. I'm really lucky in the situation that my husband is such a good man, you know, he accepts me at whatever size I am, but, you know, it still sucks to have a struggle with your weight, you know. It's very, very hard, and it was very hard, especially on social media. Especially on social media. Been there, lost 100, and then finally had the surgery to keep the weight. Oh, good job, Josie. Hold on, you guys. God damn, people are fucking with me today. Okay. Okay, there we go. I thought I was massive, but I look at pictures now and I saw some. I know, I was the same way, you guys. I was the same way. When I was younger and I was a teenager, I thought I was so fat and ugly, right? So fat and ugly, I'm just not good enough. Honey, I would pay money to go back to that weight. You know, I would pay money. I was a hot little thing. Ugh, Lord. You know, we're so hard on ourselves. That's why we have got to stop doing that, okay? We have got to get to a point where we accept our bodies and love our bodies, okay? We are beautiful no matter what size we are, okay? Now listen, there's nothing wrong with wanting to lose weight because you want to be healthy, okay? And that's my goal, okay? My goal is I want to lose weight because I want to be healthy. I want to be able to have a good time with my little boy. I want to be able to go outside, play in the sprinkler with a bikini or a one piece on and feel confident and beautiful. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what I want. I want to be healthy and feel confident. You know, it's not so much about what other people think, but more about how I feel and what I think of myself. I'm not a doctor, sweetheart. I will. Sorry, somebody's messaging me and like telling me they need help with benzos, and I'm like, I'm not a doctor. I can point you in the right direction to the doctor, but I can't, you know, I can't do anything personally, you know. So I just texted them and let them know that I can get them an appointment with Dr. B. I don't mind, you know, doing that, but I just don't like it when people want me to, you know, stop what I'm doing here when I have, you know, made a commitment to go live and stuff. So I try to not answer the phone when I'm live with you guys, you know, but I think small goals are best. It's not so overwhelming and easier to achieve. Oh yeah. So the doctor that I work for, we actually do benzo tapers for people. So we have a lot of patients that are on benzos because they come to us either dependent on them or addicted and they want to get off. So we help them get off because there's a problem with benzos out there right now. A lot of doctors are cutting people off of their benzos, and people are going into protracted withdrawal and having horrible, horrible experiences, near death, okay, and horrible withdrawal symptoms, and they're unable to get any help. So they come to us at Dr. B's office, and we help them get off of benzos. So we prescribe them something like Klonopin, and then we slowly taper them off of that medication over an extended period of time. And Dr. B is amazing. He's very good at that. That's one of his like specialties. So we have, and he really enjoys a challenge. So another problem lately with detox centers is a lot of these detox centers will try to take people in that are coming off benzos and try to like taper them off of benzos in 5 days, you know? And it's like, that's just not going to happen for a lot of people. It can make people, kill people. Oh, wow. That inner corner highlight is popping, motherfucking, look at that. That is so pretty, you guys. Oh, wow. I didn't realize how pretty that was. Okay, bitches. I don't know, but they do it, honey. How can a doctor just stop prescribing? I don't know if it's because maybe the patient is not complying with what the doctor is suggesting or telling them to do. And so that might happen. But a lot of people, their doctors will say, okay, I can't prescribe you Xanax anymore, so I'm tapering you off. And they will literally taper that person off in like 2 weeks. And that's like too fast. So what happens is when they do that to people and it's too quickly, then these people get really, really sick, right? And they're experiencing like really bad withdrawal symptoms, even though they have no benzo in their system anymore. And so what happens is their doctor gives them a drug test and they say, oh, well, the benzos aren't in your system anymore. There's no way that you can be feeling withdrawal still. It's all in your head, right? And it's not, you guys, it's not. Like whenever I came off benzos cold turkey, okay? Not because I wanted to, because I had to, and I could have died. It was at a treatment center, and I came off cold turkey, and for 8 months after I got off benzos, I had, listen to these symptoms. I had, my ears rang all day long. Ring. Do you know what it's like to have that sound in your ear constantly and it never stops? It can make you go crazy, okay? And that's exactly what was happening to me. My forearms, for some reason, my forearms would burn like there was fire ants stinging me, okay? Okay. When I would stand up and try to like walk, I would feel like dizzy, like almost like vertigo-ish, okay? My stomach, I had gastrointestinal issues for 8 months, okay? And when I tell you these were all symptoms of me coming off of benzos. It was horrible. It was horrible. Okay. Yeah, it's terrible. Brain zaps, brain fog. Oh, so much. It was really bad. It was bad. But a lot of the people that we see at Dr. B's office are older people. So you guys gotta understand, back in the day, they used to prescribe benzos like they were going out of style, okay? Especially to women, okay? Xanax and Valium and all that, it used to be known as Mama's Little Helper, okay? And so they were writing scripts of Valium to women like fucking candy, okay? And so now those same women are 70 years old and their doctor don't want to give them benzos no more after being on it for over 30 years. Those are a lot of the people that Dr. B sees, okay? Can you imagine that? Being on a medication 30 years and then your doctor says, hey, I'm sorry, you're going to have to come off of this. Like, what the fuck? That's what's happening to a lot of people. Okay. This looks really pretty, I think. Don't you guys? Yeah, I think it looks good. Hey, Jacob. What's up, honey? How do you deal with that for that whole time? I was working at where was I working? I was working on getting Nathaniel back in my custody at that time. I was working for Nukes. I was working for the sandwich shop. I was going crazy. That's how I felt. I felt like I was losing my mind, dude. And I'm sure my husband thought I was too, because people will think that you're just faking it. It's really hard, you know, because people, if they haven't experienced, it's hard for them to understand. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think it's so important for us to have people like me, like peer support people in these doctor's offices, you know, because we have gone through it and experienced it, you know. I always try to share with Dr. B, like, experiences that I have had with Suboxone, with benzos, because I just want him to know that maybe other people might have that same experience, you know? And he's awesome, though. He's amazing. He's never, like, we have patients that we know are really sick from benzo withdrawal, and so he's always so supportive of them and, you know, helps them get off safely. And it takes a long time, too, like a year. But okay, I feel bad because I need to call this girl that just texted me. I don't want her to, like, she's literally asking me how long will it be when I call her, and I don't know who she is. So I feel bad. I'm going to give her a call and check and make sure she's okay. Well, we have a freeze warning. Let's get this other wing done, and then we will plan our next live. So this is what I want to do, okay? I want to plan our live streams, and I would love if you guys would start, I want to move my live streams over to my page, okay? The reason being is, you know, Facebook has been playing with me, okay? And they are going to, this account right here, they're trying to get me to not have it anymore. And I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if I made somebody up at Facebook headquarters angry or what. But this account is restricted, like to the point where I cannot do anything, you know, or I'm going to lose it. Damn, my leg's cramping. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to move all 66,000 of you guys over to Discovering Nicole Pludre, the page, right? Because this account is my personal Facebook page, okay? So if you guys could do that for me, go follow my regular page, which is, like I said, Discovering Nicole Pludre. Then I really want to start just doing the lives over there because it's safe there, you know? So y'all let me know if that's cool, if y'all will do that to help your girl out. And then what would you guys like to talk about in our next live? Okay, what would you guys like to talk about? Do you guys want me to have a guest on? Do you guys want me to share my story? Do you guys want me to get back in the book and you know, read and learn some more from that book? Do y'all want me to you know, y'all tell me. We're gonna try out this new mascara too. It's by Morphe. My mom bought it for me. Oh gosh, I gotta stretch my leg out. There we go. What time is it, you guys? Okay, 12:30. Oh wow, it's 12:30 already. Okay. Educate us, girl. Okay. I just enjoy I just love learning about addiction so much, you know? And so I've also, in this book, y'all, I've also been reading about like the do's and don'ts of helping somebody. And so these are like, they're kind of like, you know, if you have a loved one who struggles with addiction. So I've made a couple of videos and I posted them on Reels. Now I'll tell you this, somebody asked me over on my page to talk about methamphetamine addiction and how I overcame that. And so I'm going to try to go into more detail about my struggles with methamphetamine because out of all the drugs that I did, methamphetamine is the one that I actually like have issues with craving still. And so I want to share that with you guys because I know I'm not the only one that feels like that, you know? And so that's what we'll do is we'll come on and we'll educate, talk about some more good stuff in that book. But that's what I think we're going to talk about next is overcoming methamphetamine addiction, okay? So if you guys don't mind, slide over to Discovering Nicole Pludre, and I'm going to set a schedule and it'll tell you when I go live next, but that's where we're going to go live because it's safer there and I'm not like restricted on there. Okay. But I'm going to post the next time I go live. It'll be this evening after 5. Okay. I really appreciate you guys and I missed y'all so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. All right. I love you guys.